Kenya's mining sector continues to face a plethora of challenges they are in. And how best as a nation can we address that so that we tap into the full potential of that sector for the welfare gains of every citizen and taxpayers at large? That is our conversation today on this informative edition of Business Glide, your go-to point on matters public policy analysis, economics and business at large. I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenja. Always a pleasure to have you on board. On this conversation, joining me aboard is none other than public scholar Herman Manyora, and is also a sought-after political analyst this side of the Sahara. Here he is. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Doing well?
Very well. Thanking God for it.
Thanking God for life.
Yes.
As you age graciously.
Correct.
And wisely.
Yes.
Very well. Today's conversation is grounded on matters mining and generally tapping into the potential therein. And let's start with the most recent development, that is from the Cabinet Secretary of Interior, Kithure Kindiki. He has actually issued a national crackdown on all mines so that they identify those which are posing a risk to miners therein. We've seen perennial issues of mining, deposits caving on miners in Kakamega County and all those counties therein. Do you think eventually we are getting it right on going into mining, but in a sustainable way that isn't posing a risk to those who are looking for a livelihood out of it?
It's good to take emergency measures because like this heavy rain season, we normally witness people dying under collapsed. They are just simple mines, crude. The things are done in a crude way, actually using hands and it's not mechanized.
No protective gears.
Not even gears, even just really it's nothing. Even the going down, people are using holes or digging manually, and it's just risk. So it's important for the minister to take note of that and take action. So I support him on that.
You support him,
but it doesn't go beyond that.
It doesn't go.
What this country needs to do, and I think I heard the government say they were doing geomapping. I don't know whether it's called geomapping.
Mapping of resources.
Mapping of resources, and they would know what we have. It's long overdue. Do we even know what we have in terms of minerals? When you see people scratching somewhere, even in my land, there's gold.
Western Kenya?
My land, there's gold. My own land, there's gold. Some little gold. When we see people in Kakamega, in Migori, Nandi, scratching and getting gold and Chinese coming to buy some little things, do we really know if there's sufficient gold down? Why don't we establish whether actually we have gold down there, beyond the surface?
That calls for technology transfer.
Does it have sufficient quantities to invite serious mining? Those are the questions I want the minister to address, the minister in charge of mining. The interior minister is talking about security, but we want the country to know just how much gold we have, where, what is happening there. Even at the level of exploitation, even the boys who get little nuggets of gold, little bits of gold, and the Chinese go and buy from them, are we sure they are getting value? Maybe they're just being exploited.
There could be rogue middlemen.
Yeah, the Chinese who buy, maybe they are exploiting them. Maybe they are giving them a good price, but maybe they are also exploiting them. So the government needs to tell us. And number two, even where like in Kwale we have had huge deposits, has government of Kenya and the people of Kenya benefited from that which God gave us?
The others. We've seen welfare parks being fronted by companies.
When we were attempting to mine in
oil in Turkana.
Oil in Turkana.
Yeah.
Where was the national interest in the whole thing?
But locals are going to be supported.
Where is the national interest? Or is it the case that the local people, the benefit they get is the destruction of their environment, cultural pollution,
degradation,
and everything else, and all manner of imaginable diseases brought by the new development? Is that what we can do in the 21st century? Would somebody pay royalties and license and then truck away what God gave you Kenyans, worth billions of dollars, and he has paid to you $10 million in license. That cannot be an arrangement that should be allowed to operate in the 21st century.
But it is why even the ministry was devolved, because county governments were to play the oversight role therein to ensure the benefits trickle down to the local residents. Don't you think this
You remember the standoff between Governor Nok and Uhuru Kenyatta?
Yeah, sure.
What does that tell you? The arrangement is not well streamlined. Yeah. So we need to have a look, a fresh look at the resources this country has.
But then again, just as we have tapped into technology transfer from those all, say, the Chinese who've helped us build our mega infrastructure, the roads and all that.
There is no technology transfer. I've quarreled all the time. There isn't, zero. Actually, it should be in percentages, in years. There is nothing, zero.
Our local contractors are now
Zero.
doing mega.
There is no technology transfer. There is no technology transfer.
Really?
Nothing. I've never heard of it. It should be there, but I've not heard of it. So that, you know, if you want to know it is there, then you put works in levels. So that in the next 5 years or 10 years, foreign farms will do all sorts of roads from level 1 to 3 to 4 to 5. That after 5 years, we would know now we have sufficient knowledge through technology transfer for us to do level 1. They continue 2, 3, 4, 5. After another 10 years, we are now on level 2 and they cannot do level 2. Like that. Until at a time when the country will be self-sufficient and really we do not rely on foreign contractors. I have never heard of something like that.
But sticking on the front of...
but you see, I'm not saying if I've not heard it's not there.
It could be
but I will be surprised in a major way.
if it's there.
Yeah.
But just so to advance the conversation about technology transfer, are you going to probably make a clarion call for the county government, say that of Kakamega County, to probably make budget for benchmarking so that we see even the local miners get modern equipments, modern ways of doing the mining and all that? Do you think county governments have the potential to educate their masses who are taking that livelihood?
They don't. Counties are tiny little creatures that have no muscle. The people at Bomas who talked about 8 or 12 regions or maximum 14 knew that you need things that were economically viable. The current counties are not economically viable.
Not economically viable?
Yeah, they are not viable. Even politically, they are not viable. They are too small. If we had 12 regions or 8 regions along the all provinces, maybe maximum 10, 12, some people are even talking of maximum 14. I would have gone for maximum 12 myself, ideally 10. Those will be huge, huge counties, huge regional blocks that will engage
in serious mining.
Yeah, for example, the Nyanza region, the governor of the Nyanza region will get in touch with the governor of the Western region and the North Rift region, because the North Rift would have been a region, because Rift Valley was too big. So we will be talking about all the way from Turkana to Kisii, to Bomet and Sol, that region. When there are 2 or 3 governors talking and making serious decisions about mining, it can work. But when you have 14 of them trying to talk, and then they are told, okay, each of you give 200 million, they can't. To start even a bank.
Allah?
They can't. So, counties as currently constituted do not have the capacity to engage big in resource mobilization, on resource collection, revenue collection. They do not have the capacity to go into things like mining. They are too tiny. Yeah.
Then again, do you think the Ministry of Environment is engaging in double speak? And the reason I'm saying this is we are trying to address climate change issues, and those who've really been releasing poisonous discharges to our environment and just all sort of pollution majorly have been all those in the mining industry. And save for companies like now that undertaking based titanium in Kwale County, we've seen so much of environmental degradation, discharge of waste from mining to the environment. There's not quite much of rehabilitation after people have mined. When you have agencies like NEMA on board, the Ministry of Environment, do you think for them it's taking 4 steps ahead and 6 backwards and just heading over to those high-level summits on climate change, environmental protection?
Who tells you they take any step forward? They have never taken one.
Really?
They only take backwards.
We've hosted UNEA Assembly,
Hosting
COP26 summits, a huge delegation.
They don't translate to anything. A city where people, where manufacturers, industry throw waste into rivers. Have you looked at the rivers that pass in Nairobi rivers?
Then why a huge delegation to COP26?
Have you seen those rivers as they enter the earth, what they look like? We're just jokers.
Really?
Yeah. This is a joking country. This is a country of jokers. We have never moved away from the way we were viewed before we became independent. We were vessels for other people to use for the economic development and empowerment. We haven't moved an inch from there.
Letting foreign investors benefit at our expense?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Salim Vuri is watching the CS for mining.
What is he capable of? He's not capable of making any decision to the contrary.
From a region from a region that is endowed with minerals.
You live in this country.
I do.
Do you see the amount of pollution in the Nairobi rivers? The rivers, are they 3 or 2? 3. Do you see how much is coming from industrial area? Can you even want to call yourself a Kenyan? Just raw waste into the rivers. Stories have been carried by the media of very serious health hazard coming from industries across the country. And nobody can tell them anything. People develop all manner of diseases. Somebody goes to mine chalk or lime,
or what?
and the air is full of dust, the so-called lime dust, chalk dust for cement, when there are modern machines and equipment to be used.
At the expense of people's health?
Yeah. People who live in those places don't have health to talk of. In many of the places where these industries are located, people have no life. People are just, women are bought, children have pneumonia, and many of the things we see on TV.
And know that these are local communities.
Lead and mercury is released into the environment with wanton destruction. I've said repeatedly, this country, we are on our own.
We are on our own.
Yeah.
Very well.
So the Minister of Mining should first, like I've said, map out what we have, what are our resources, what strategy do we have to exploit what God has given us in a partnership with those who are technologically more advanced than us, who have the muscle to do it, but we do together without exploitation. We must consider the lives of the people around those industries, those mining facilities, think of the environment because of the future. But if we think of pleasing foreigners
and upgrading their social amenities.
Yeah.
Getting them hospitals and all those
we
things.
We have to be a little more serious than we are
employment
today.
plan and all.
Yeah, and even employment. The Turkana boys were saying they can't even be employed.
Not even those who are engineers.
Yes, I say, what is this? And the sharing formula was horrible. So that even if this oil was exploited to the full, 100 years later, the Turkana would not have benefited from the oil.
There you have it. Indeed, from Herman Manyora School of Thought, he is calling for more radical surgeries into the mining sector so that Kenya can actually reap big from it. That marks the end of this conversation. Of course, we continue to roll out such discussions in our subsequent editions. But for now, allow me to take you to our Fan of the Week segment. It is none other than this gentleman, Kiuna Njuguna from Kiambu.
Kiuna Njuguna from Kiambu, thank you for being part of this family. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Kiuna Njuguna. Also, we are making a call for all of you who want to be part of our conversation as fans of the week. Head over on Twitter. Go to H Manyora on Twitter, at Mwenjeju on Twitter, DM us, give us your locations and where you're watching us from, and definitely we'll give you a shout out and all the credits due because you guys are true credit to our profession. Until next time on Business Glide, I'm Richard Mwenja. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.